We're joined this morning by our bureau chief in the state of Hawaii, Alfred Acenas. Good morning, Alfred. Thank you for joining us. Tell us about the COVID situation in the island paradise, which, of course, is one of Canada's top winter getaway destinations.
You're right about that, Thomas, and aloha to our viewers around the world. Our hearts and prayers are first and foremost to the victims of the recent typhoon Ulysses, or Vamco, which is the international name. And I do want to shout out and quickly say thanks, mahalo, to our Philippine correspondents who post their situations, their photos on social media, particularly Twitter. Eagle News Hawaii follows those, by the way, and we thank you, Eagle News in the Philippines, for keeping us updated on the situation. Now, the situation here, Thomas, regarding COVID-19 is that ever since late September, Honolulu, or the island of Oahu, has kicked off this tier or staged reopening. We started at Tier 1 up until the late October. We're currently under Tier 2, and I'm hoping we can see that graphic. Okay, there's Tier 2 right now. And we're trying to aim for Tier 3, in which we're going to need to stay below the daily rolling average of 50 cases, or the positivity rate of below 2.5. which unfortunately is not the case in the last couple of weeks. So City and County has decided that we give ourselves a couple more weeks, so which will take us through December to stay at Tier 3 and hopefully meet the conditions under and be ideal for Tier 3 for reopening. So we're going to show you a bit of what Tier 2 looks like in the so-called island paradise, Thomas. And consider this as your refresher course on what the ocean looks like, because I don't think you can have access to that in the middle of the continent. But that's what it looks like. I tell you,
if I could hop on a plane, I'd be on my way now.
So that's what it looks like yesterday in East Oahu, Sandy Beach Park. And it's not a whole lot of crowds, and really that's also typical around this time of year before the real holiday travel season kicks in. And so right now we've averaged for the month of November about 6,000 to 7,000 arrivals per day, compared to about 1,000 to 5,000 back in October. So that's where we stand right now in our slow but steady reopening. Keeping in mind, though, that we're keeping tabs on what's happening in mainland U.S. and Canada, which unfortunately, are still experiencing some surges here and there, Tom.
So where are the people coming from right now?
So really the bulk of the arrivals are still coming from the mainland U.S. We've also reported that several airlines, United, Delta, Hawaiian, American, and a whole host of others that fly to and from here, have established partnerships to provide pre-travel testing, which for the most part works. The challenge, though, and this is what Dr. Fauci pointed out when our state government interviewed him, it only takes one to slip through the cracks through our system and unfortunately cause a spread here in the islands. So we have several measures and the state government is monitoring the situation, especially with Canada, which is, by the way, the second largest foreign visitor market for Hawaii, Tom. So hang in there. It's going to reopen sooner or later.
Are you anticipating come January, February, because that's when it's a real deep freeze here, at least in my province it is. You get down to that minus 30-degree weather, and yeah, you want a couple of weeks in Hawaii, nothing like it in the middle of winter. Do you anticipate a rush of tourists come the early new year?
This is right now just speculation, of course, that December we will see an uptick of visitor arrivals. Whether or not Canada is going to be, up next is up to the state. Let's face it, Japan itself also is facing, some surge in cases. So whether or not, it'll influence the decision by the state to allow Canada. Oh, by the way, we have to depend on the federal government's decision because they have to open the borders too. So once they open the borders there, the several thousand mile border, it's the border here will open up as well, Thomas. So sooner than later,
we sit back and
maybe.
wait. I don't see the 49th parallel opening up anytime soon. Not with the number of cases being reported in the U.S. and the number of cases in Canada. They're talking about in a couple of weeks, we could be peaking at 10,000 a day, which is getting at the level you are, which you're over 100,000 now. We got a tenth of the population. Do the math. We're coming pretty close.
Yeah, we are. And the bigger problem here is the ability to reach back for resources from the mainland, which the mainland, of course, has its own set of problems. So you get the tyranny of distance. So we cannot allow ourselves to be overwhelmed. That's for sure.
If we have to, for the sake of everyone, I guess the vacation is on hold for another year. Thanks for joining us this morning, Alfred, and we'll talk to you again.
Thanks, Alfred Acenas. We'll live interesting times. Thank you.